boys.
Yeah, you said congrats,
Nice.
10 boys.
Nice. There's 10 boys.
You got too horny, and that's why.
I don't want him to come. Jake, how horny does this make you?
Very horny.
It's one big joke. Believe me, Minnesota sports in all sorts. You see, they know it's never gonna get easy. You see, they know it's Minnesota, constant pain and misery.
And I'm a part of Al Qaeda.
It's 10K TV. It's one big joke. Believe me, Minnesota sports in all sorts.
Dude, he could turn Daniel Jones into Brett Favre.
Minus the penis pics.
Yeah. You can legally smoke crack.
What is a DVOA?
I went dicks, vaginas, or ass.
I think that's what it is.
Don't know much except to yell.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of 10K TV presented by 10,000 Takes. My name is Boss Man. I am joined by journalist Jake and Sarge as always. And I guess it's kind of a bittersweet type day. The Wolves have advanced. Obviously, the Wild are done. We'll get to that. But I'm very happy for the Timber Puppies for closing out the Lakers in 5 games after fucking everybody said the Lakers in 5, including Shannon Sharp, who is now being sued by an OnlyFans model. So, really a big win for Ant on that whole one. I saw him do he read off the whole Shannon Sharp poem monologue.
Yeah, I didn't
ended
see
with
that.
Lakers in 5. He was just kind of walking around LA saying it. But
I saw him walking around the Ant-Man, Batman, Superman, Lakers in 5. Shit.
Yeah.
That was the best.
The Wolves got it done despite missing 40-plus three-pointers. Dude. Which is
Yeah,
just
what?
I haven't processed that being possible yet.
Well, game 2 as well. Like, they shot 6 for 40 from 3 in game 2, which was the only game they dropped, and they only lost by 9. Like, they could have easily swept this Lakers team,
Yeah.
As our caller said last week, Lacry James
Yeah.
and Luka Doncic, who's still a bitch, by the way, and we were saying before the show, needs to get into better shape.
Yep.
Even JJ Redick was saying it.
Championship shape.
Championship shape. He was just trying to,
Not to name names, he said.
he was trying to say it nonchalantly, like I'm metaphorically saying championship shape like everybody. No, you're saying Luka Doncic is fat and
You're
he
calling
needs to
out the
lose
fat
weight.
guy who couldn't play defense. And, it's obviously not LeBron. Although LeBron did say in the Starting 5 Netflix documentary that he'll retire when he's not the person who's in the best shape on the court. I think he has to retire now, right? Because clearly Anthony Edwards is in better shape.
Yeah, way better.
Even though despite after Game 5, LeBron was limping and basically pretending like he wasn't unable to walk anymore, almost like a Ricky Bobby situation where he thought he was paralyzed.
Yeah, I'm honestly convinced he was acting and trying to sell it a lot more than it is. Yeah, eventually we're gonna see him, or we're gonna hear that he tried stabbing a knife into his leg to prove that he was paralyzed.
Well, and Jake,
paralyzed.
Big news coming out of I think it's in New York City is that LeBron is on
yep.
the injury report, unable to attend the Met Gala.
Oh my gosh!
Really,
People were like, I saw some news stories about that. First off, I could give 2 shits about the Met Gala.
Yeah.
Well, I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what is
the
it?
Met Gala?
It is a ton of rich people and famous people who get together, take a ton of photos, dress up, and I think they just hang out.
And talk about the Illuminati and how they're going to dominate the world and do some weird
talk
shit.
about Diddy parties and reminisce on
Yep.
good times on Epstein's Island, that kind of stuff.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, I saw it was like a big deal. He's not going to be there. There's literally an injury report for the Met Gala.
Yeah.
And he's on
The
it.
Met Gala is okay. I don't know what's going on.
What's going on with the ringtone?
Oh, we're getting a call.
We're getting a live voice.
We're getting a call. Sorry. I've never had this open when we received a call. Sorry about that.
Don't call because we can't trust anyone live, but
No.
you can leave a voicemail and we'll
Yeah,
play
leave a
we'll play it at
voicemail.
the end.
We would love, I would love to see if we had like a delay button or something.
I was like, what
Be more
is that?
I also
Trusting, but-
see a comment on Instagram. Is that Darnell_Ant? I don't know my
Yeah.
glasses on. Yeah, he brought up that bitch Austin Reeves. It came out that Austin Reeves was playing with
Yeah, who cares?
a sore toe, or something with his toe.
Stop making up excuses.
I don't know, dude. I don't care. You lost.
I think they're trying to grasp at straws here. I thought it was hilarious. I watched a little bit of the analysis after the Wolves closed out the series last Wednesday, and they couldn't stop talking about how the Lakers lost the series.
Yeah.
They lost the series. Like, the Wolves just kicked their ass.
The Wolves tried to actually lose the series a few times, specifically shooting three-pointers.
It's like the NBA tried. It's like the NBA still scripted it for LeBron James to make a run, and they still couldn't do it. So,
Yeah,
and that's not to take away that the Wolves didn't play well, because they played very well in a lot of games. But there was those couple games where, especially the last game, where they didn't look that great, and they still were able to close it out. So
Rudy Gobert legacy game.
that was, dude. Honestly, we don't win that game. We force a game 6. If they force a game 6, if Rudy Gobert doesn't just come out of the woodwork like that.
27 points, 24 rebounds. I mean, the strategy was pretty obvious to me. We just were purposely missing threes so that he could catch them and put them back. Because he probably did that like 15 times where someone would miss a three. He was the tallest guy on the court by a mile, which we were watching the stream saying, why doesn't he shoot more? He's the tallest guy out there. They don't have a center anymore. We've talked about without Anthony Davis, they're basically useless down below unless they make 100 three-pointers. So we would miss a three-pointer. Rudy would grab it, slam it down, and we just did that for the entire game, which, you know what? It worked.
It did, or he'd just be wide open. Like, you feel like, oh, this play's falling apart, and then Rudy's just wide open under the basket,
Yeah.
and we just Ant throws it to him and get another bucket. It kept
wonder-
us around, and we won.
Did Chris Finch ever try to tell them to stop shooting threes? Like, did he ever try to be like, you know what, guys, I don't think it's our night at the line.
No.
You know, I don't think it's in the cards to shoot threes. Let's maybe, you know, beat them down low physically. I don't think that conversation ever happened. Which
I know.
They attempted 47 of them. They shot at, what was it, 12%?
Yeah.
Pretty miraculous work. There's
then
more
they-
ways to win a basketball game, apparently, than shooting threes.
Either shot 12% or 10% or shot like 60%. There was no like 30% games. If they were on, they were on, or if they were off, they're off. But then again, that last game, like Conley and even maybe McDaniels, I know Conley for a fact hit like a really just game-sealing three near the end, where it was like, okay, that's all, and that's all we needed. We shot 10%, but we were 1 for 1 on game clutch threes. So, well,
They weren't just missing threes either. Like, I'm pretty sure Nah had 3 air balls in maybe the first half. I think Ant airballed even a few times. Like, they weren't even just missing the hoop, or they weren't even just missing like the rim itself. Like, they were missing the entire hoop sometimes. I specifically remember a few threes that were just complete bricks. Some that would just hit the backboard. Like, I don't know what was going on at the 3-point line, but like, there were people who were saying, I genuinely think you guys could shoot better threes right now. And that was maybe, I mean, obviously uncontested. If we were, you know, if I had LeBron in my face, it's a different story. That was actually one of those times where I was like, okay, I think I could do this better than they could.
yeah, I think so too. I was sitting there like I could go to the YMCA and shoot better than these
Maybe
guys.
make
right
a
now,
couple
but-
of them, right?
Exactly.
Or maybe not airball twice and actually, I'd definitely airball twice.
Or get lucky and make a couple. Like, it's ridiculous how much they miss, and the Lakers were missing them
Oh
too.
yeah, they were going tit for tat on missed
Yeah,
threes. It was
they
awesome.
couldn't
it
hit
was
anything
riveting
either.
basketball.
We got a comment from Daryl here. How do you feel about this strategy against the Warriors? Shooting the threes, I'm assuming.
Shit, I mean, did they have tall guys either? I don't think so.
No, it worked. It worked for like 3 or 4 of the wins that the Wolves had. So I just say keep throwing it up there.
Yeah.
It's going to click some games, and if it clicks more the majority of the games that it doesn't, then we're gonna win. So
Also, fuck all the people who were making fun of me for calling Julius Randle playoff Julius. I had Mavs fans making fun of me for that. I'm like, well, you have the worst GM in sports history.
Mavericks
baby.
fans,
How's the view from your couch? Like, we got the stars. I'm like, touche.
yeah, but those people that are when they're saying they have the stars, firstly, Minnesota, where did the stars come from, bitch?
Good point.
Minnesota, and I'm sure these Mavs fans don't even follow the stars. They're just, we are hockey during the playoffs. I'm a fan of them now, dude.
They're
you're not
probably
even a
following.
fan.
They're probably following the Lakers just because of Luka, and I get that. Like, if Ant went to another team, I'd probably want to watch them too. So I kind of get that. But Julius Randle, man, just had his 3rd child a couple weeks ago. Had just a legacy series. You know, he comes off as one of those guys who, you know, despite what he does all year, he's going to turn it on in the playoffs. I mean, him and DiVincenzo were just brilliant.
Yeah.
So just another credit to Tim Connolly on blowing up the team almost by getting rid of Cat, but it seems like it's all working out. Obviously, I think the depth is like the biggest thing the Wolves have over literally any other team. Like the Warriors have Steph, obviously, who's just a menace. They have Jimmy, but they have Draymond, I guess.
Oh no.
Just moving from one senior citizen to another, from LeBron to Draymond, just who can have more gray in their beard.
Yeah, and who can be another flopper and I don't know,
Did you
just
see that
an annoying person on the court.
Was it in the Game 7 yesterday where he just did one of those things where he jumped in the air and like smacked someone in the face, and then he tries to play it off like he's falling,
Yeah.
but he ends up punching the person in
Yeah,
the face.
does this weird. Yeah, he's one of those players.
Screenshot where he has his palm over this entire dude's face from Houston. Like, dude, him and Rudy, honestly, that's just gonna be a boxing match, right? Like
They're gonna be
Are they even gonna
underneath.
play basketball, or are they just
No.
gonna try to kill each other?
They're going to be wrestling under the basket. There's going to be constant duplicate or incidental fouls and free throws back and forth half of the game. But whatever. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be violent, I guess.
Yeah.
I saw an ESPN headline that was like, "How are the Wolves going to challenge the Warriors?" Like,
Can we flip that
Wait.
at some point?
wait, you do realize that the Wolves on paper are probably have played better, and we have home court advantage. I know
Deeper.
we're a deeper team. I know they have Steph Curry, who's won championships. They have the experience, blah, blah, blah. But I feel like a better team than them. So why is it always, how are the Wolves going to do this? Oh, it's just like against when they were going up against the Lakers, which I felt they were the better team against them as well. I think that, and I get what they mean, yeah, because the Warriors have always won. They've won championships. Steve Kerr is an experienced coach, whatever.
And
But
his
still,
son is named after a racial slur.
yeah, exactly. Nicholas Kerr?
Nicholas, sorry.
He had to have done that on purpose, right?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me.
Dude, it's wild. Hey, I didn't think anyone could top Kanye for some of his names, like Northwest and Elon naming his kids after like androids. But then I heard about what Steve Kerr did, and that just blew the roof off the whole thing.
Telling you, if you're in California long enough, I think the oxygen or water there is contaminated.
It's all the fires,
It fucks
dude.
with your brain, yeah, and the smog above L.A. So that's a South Park reference
Smoking
of
crack
all
and
the
Skid
celebrities and Matt Damon.
This
think of
this
that
is a big revenge series, I think, for the Timberwolves organization against Jimmy Butler. Mm-hmm. We haven't ever gotten to play him in the playoffs because obviously he was over on the East Side for a long time. We never, unfortunately, made it to the NBA Finals. Could have done it last year, but or no, actually, it would have been Boston. But I mean, if we beat Jimmy Butler, then we've won the whole entire ordeal, right? Because first off, shout out to our guy Tyrus for building this insane diagram of how Jimmy Butler being traded ultimately led to our current team. It's a whole web of players. I don't even
Huge web.
I don't recognize half of them. Have you seen it?
No, I don't think I've seen
Pull it up.
it.
Pull it, or I'll pull it up
Or I
right
can-
now.
I
I mean,
can
I
maybe
know
look at it.
you.
Oh yeah, right here.
You're a bigger, basketball history knower than me. Okay. Yeah. So it's basically a family
Butler
tree
trade
that starts
tree.
with Jimmy Butler, and it leads to like 8 different webs. It's literally like a family tree.
So Butler, wait, so it goes back. Is it like when I'm trying to understand this here. So is it like when we traded him from the Wolves?
Yes, I think
Stems-
those are either picks because of that
Guys
trade
we technically
or
got
which
from the Butler trade.
eventually led to other guys,
I don't recognize a lot of these guys, to be completely honest.
which is what makes it hilarious.
And then it goes down to those guys.
Anyways,
is that Jeff Teague?
if you want to know what we're
First
referencing,
round
just
pick.
go to our page on any.
Oh yeah, that's that. That first round pick was that guy we got that plays on Utah now. What was his name again? I forgot. People are gonna freak out that we don't know that, but I think that was the 20. Wait, I honestly don't
Yeah,
understand this.
just break,
I honestly don't. I'm gonna have to have
it down.
Tyrus
Break it down in your.
because I don't
free
reckon.
time.
I don't think a lot of these players even played with the Wolves.
Either way, basically, Jimmy Butler said when he left the Timberwolves that we would never win without him. That was like his parting word, pretty much.
Yeah.
If we can beat the Warriors and Jimmy Butler, I think it's an ultimate dub for the organization.
Right, okay.
And for us Wolves fans.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Sarge, care to comment as someone who's been wearing a Timberwolves Jimmy Butler jersey to every stream?
Honest to God, I loved him. I absolutely loved him on the Wolves. I loved his attitude, but now he's enemy number one. and that jersey's not going to last very long. I'll just say that. Maybe some foreshadow there.
He's gonna use it as a new cum rag.
Right. I know you already probably have a designated one, Sarge.
Yeah, they're called Kleenex. We got a comment from Lamar. Moving on here. What do the T-Wolves need to do to win this series against the Warriors?
Score more points than the other team in 4 games.
Make some threes, and Rudy Gobert should shoot because he is in fact taller than everyone else in the court.
Yeah.
Also, sorry, this is random. Speaking of Kleenex,
Look, Rudy Gobert or Charles Barkley would be like,
speaking of Kleenex, the Minnesota Wild posted a tweet today.
no.
Right before Fleury's retirement.
Oh,
was
yeah.
going to, and it just said, "Do you guys have tissues around because you're going to need them?" I said, "Bonk."
Oh wait.
Yeah.
yeah, because that could mean that it's a double meaning there.
Yep.
Some people, I don't know.
Now that I think about it, I should have responded and be like, "Wait, who did we already sign?
Yeah, I know.
Free agency."
Yeah, that's what it could be.
I don't have anything else. Just obviously, we're going to be doing live streams.
Yeah, I would say tune in the live stream, please.
We're also giving away tickets to Game 2.
Oh yeah, that's
Giving
right.
away tickets to
Thursday.
Game 2 on Instagram and Twitter. Also, if you've entered the giveaway, stop trying to bribe us. I've been getting a lot of messages of people offering us rounds of golf places. I feel bad. Like, I'm not making fun of this, but one kid said like him and his mom were about to get kicked out of their house and they've been struggling. We're not
First of all, we can't verify that.
right.
We can't verify that. Like, we can't just do that. And there are so many people that do like it and share it and do what they're supposed to do, and we can't just do that.
One kid offered me a round at Hazeltine. I'm like, buddy, we've already played there.
Yeah.
Plus, they are holding my 60-degree wedge hostage. I still do not have my 60-degree back from Hazeltine. So if you're a member of Hazeltine, I lost it on one of the holes. My buddy said he said that no one turned it in. Just disgusting behavior from what's supposed to be a
Yep.
championship pedigree club there up
Yep.
in Chanhassen.
So you know what? Yeah, you were not going to golf there anyway.
Yeah, I'm taking a stand. Although if you offered me a round to Hazeltine, without me having to give you Wolves tickets, I would greatly accept.
Yeah.
I might go looking in some member only rooms for my 60-degree and probably get kicked out or get yelled at. But my 60-degree is somewhere either in a member's bag or probably in the back of their Porsche somewhere at Hazeltine. So.
All right,
Yep, and also, this goes to both women and men. We will not take sexual favors either.
Nope.
Nope. Sorry, Sarge.
damn, I was gonna
Nope.
say I will.
I think last year we got one.
Yeah, no, there were definitely
There was
were
a couple.
definitely
It
like
was weird.
OnlyFans girls saying,
Yep.
"What do I
Nope.
need to do for
Nope.
you to get the tickets?" It's like,
Nope.
no, we're an upstanding organization. We're not. If we're gonna give away tickets and people are gonna follow us and tag their friends and do all these things. Like, we're gonna make it fair.
Yeah.
I think we already have. By the way, I think we already have over 3,000 entries.
Yeah.
So like, for all the people who are like, "You guys never pick me for your giveaways," I'm like, well, there's.
It's not a pick.
I think last
Random. It's a drawing.
I think last year for Game 6, dude, there were like over 10,000 entries. I'm like, what do you want me to do about that?
It's already 2 tickets for one person. Like, you didn't pick me. I'm not picking anybody.
Can't pick everybody. If it were,
No,
you know what? If
we're
it were up to
drawing.
me, everyone would be allowed to go to the game, so we could make them extra loud. But there's only so much we can do.
It's literally a randomly generated drawing.
Yeah.
Is what it is. It's there's no favoritism, nothing. We can assure you that.
So
And we do call out who won too.
yes, we do.
Yeah. So it's not like
People
we're
always
just
seem to
doing
miss that too. They're like, y'all didn't even draw winners. I'm like,
Yep,
well,
it's
we
right here.
actually did. Yeah.
you can audit us.
on the
do-
story.
We have a transcript.
Yeah.
We got another comment from Daryl here. What do you think the matchups will be in this series? So who's gonna be up against who?
Anton Scurry, huh?
I think so.
Just talking mad shit. This guy has what, 5 championships, 4
Oh.
championships, something. Team USA gold medal. Ant's gonna talk to him like he's a high schooler.
Yeah, he's not intimidated by any of these people.
No.
At all. I think Draymond and Rudy we were talking about.
Yep, that's gonna be just a basically a fight. Yep.
I could see what would Naz Reid go up against Jimmy Butler? Probably not.
Yeah, Jaden
maybe.
McDaniels probably on Jimmy Butler.
Jaden McDaniels. That'll be interesting.
Good
I guess I don't
defender.
know exactly. That's fun to kind of predict, but
Yeah.
I feel like and on Curry
That
Curry
just
will be
seems to be
great.
how they do it.
Yeah, that'll be great. Just for the mental side of it, you
Right.
know. Physically, yeah,
Who's
sure.
on Jimmy? Who's on Jimmy?
I think it's Naz Reid. I think it's Jaden McDaniels because Jaden starts, right?
Yeah.
I think it's him.
Jaden McDaniels.
He's been
Dante
he's been
DiVincenzo.
awesome in the playoffs. I mean, the guy just
Yeah.
and the whole team, they just lock it down, dude. This is the same thing that we did last year. We were a lockdown team. Even if we weren't shooting good, we were still winning games. Ant just goes off when he goes off. Playoff Julius. I love the whole thing.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, tune into the streams and enter the giveaway. But we talked enough about that. Let's wrap up the Wild season. We'll put a little bow on this. Tough ending to the series. 2 overtime losses. In a row.
Emotional damage.
Yep. Thank you,
Overtime
Sarge.
losses. And
Being you're a Blackhawks fan, I know you just basically put that sound on repeat. But 2 overtime losses in a row. Brutal way to end it. Obviously, the Gus Nyquist offsides predicament last Tuesday was a bit of a kick in the dick.
That I'm still deflated about that because it was like I've still watched it. Like I was talking a while. I remember I was talking about that offsides in the men's room. I was pissing like between periods, and people were like, "That was offsides. That was offsides." And I went back to look at it again, even like after that game. Like I can't see in my eyes it was 100% definitive. People were like, "He was offsides. He was offsides." I still can't see it 100%. People keep telling me it was offsides. However, Gus needs to drag his foot and have more awareness because he might have been offsides, but he still should have been back by another foot. So we're not even talking about this, so it shouldn't have been reviewed. That's my whole thing is he's an experienced veteran player, and he didn't act like that at all.
No.
You know, Hartman's
Also, maybe the first time I've ever seen a double review. Not that I'm saying that's ridiculous or illegal, but like first the league or I guess Toronto challenges a kick when very obviously it never even went near Hartman's foot. I thought that was more of just an insult, like we're really going to try everything we can to take this goal off. And then, the offsides, which was just
they took 5 seconds to review
minuscule, so minuscule on the offsides.
And like I said, if he was, which I still don't say it was 100%, it was by like an inch. By an inch. The puck was in the air. It was by an inch. And but it's like even if it was that's Minnesota sports right there.
Yeah,
I mean, you just can't.
Losing by an inch, and the whole series turned on its head after that. I mean, obviously the loss at home was
tough.
Deflating, in Game 3, that was hard to watch. But this was like I think it was the true nail in the coffin. Also shout out to Gus Nyquist at his
postseason presser.
Kind of postseason presser for saying I'd still love to play here if there's a chance for me to, and it's like,
dude, you're looking on the out now, man. Like you suffered a couple brutal injuries. You were good 10 years ago.
He had 70 points a couple seasons ago, which is cool, but I mean that cost us the playoffs.
I think Bill Guerin. People were kind of criticizing Bill Guerin for signing him. Like I don't criticize him for signing him. He should have been playing better.
Yeah.
If he was more productive and playing how he should have been playing, we would have been in a Game 7 at least. Yeah. I think so.
Or I mean, he just drags his foot behind the line, and we're probably playing in a Game 7.
Straddle the blue line.
Well, yeah, he's literally
you're
just
a pro
lifts
hockey
his
player.
foot up.
It was offsides, but it was we shot ourselves in the foot, ironically.
We did, and
I mean,
And I'm not the one to blame. I think Vegas, they have a great team, and it is crazy to think that we could have also easily ran away with that series with the team we had and everything, and having not played together as a full squad since November and then coming into a playoff series, that's tough. But the reffing was awful in like 2 or 3 of those games. Really bad. Like, really bad. Like, in the last game, you call, I think, a valid but a soft trip on Kirill. You call, I think, was a very soft holding call on Brock Faber. Okay, fine. You're going to call those, okay? But you're not going to call Boldy getting absolutely face slammed, body slammed down in the last 30 seconds of the fucking game? Yeah. In the game. What are you doing? And then they call that soft, high-sticking call at the beginning of the game that led to a goal. That was literally incidental.
The 4-minute one.
4-minute that led to the first goal.
Which, our second one of the series. Boyum gets it in Game 3. Game 6, Rossi, that's killer.
Dude, and then it's like I get, okay, if you're going to let them play, you do see it a lot in the playoffs where they do let them play. They will, teams will get away with some trips and holds and all that. That's great. I love that. But they called all that on the Wild, didn't call one on Vegas.
Yeah.
It was absolutely ridiculous. It was like, and then game 4 at home that we lost in overtime. Like, they missed some brutal, blatant trips that led to like the game-winning to game-tying goals and the game-winning goal and over. It was pathetic. They missed several cross checks that they called on the Wild. It was like it looked like favoritism to me. It was absolutely like garbage to watch when you saw that. It's like this isn't this. You can't make that up, and then you add on top of that the offsides. It was just completely frustrating that we had a shot in that series. I didn't think going into it we were going to get kind of dominated, and we did, and then it comes down to
I was
that.
just about to ask you. So, like, before the series started, talking to a lot of people around 10K, no one had any hope. But then,
confidence.
I think specifically too because two guys who were crucial for the lineup came back so late. Like I was worried Kirill and Eck. I mean, as good as they did play in a few of those games, we're just not quite going to have their game. Kirill showed up for the first half of the series. He slowed down. The Wild are the first team in MLB, NBA, NFL, and NHL history to make the playoffs 8+ times in a 10-year span, but lose in the opening round every time, per Opta stats.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me. I was before that, before the game 6, I was telling people, like I was texting my dad and telling people they have made the playoffs 11 of 13 years. They've only made it out of the first round twice in that span, which was 14 and 15, which adds into that stat because it's been 10 fucking years. And then the last time they made it out of the first round before 2014 and 2015 was 2003. It's just
3
like
years after their inaugural season.
yeah, and they made it to the conference finals but got swept. So yeah, it's just the Wild are. I don't think there's any other team like that stat. There's just no other team in sports that has done what the Wild have done in the regular season, and you can't make it past the first round.
Yeah.
It's absolutely you just can't make it up.
Well, at least Flower got to play one final period, played great. Was that game 4 on Tuesday?
Or game 5 when we think
He just once again raw dogged it, didn't warm up again, just kind of like what he did with the Anaheim overtime. Played amazing.
Just had
Starting
the
to think
shits.
maybe the guy's problem was warming up too much. When he didn't warm up at all, he was money. Gus was, I think, puking. I think I heard someone like kind of ask the question, like, does Gus have Crohn's disease or something? We've had this thing happen a few times where just halfway through the game, he's apparently just aggressively vomiting. So I don't know if he has like a stomach condition or if he gets overworked or like dehydrated or what, but it's a fair question because this has happened a few times.
this is a great segue. We just got a text. I cannot wait to hear your guys' reaction to this. Wild need to improve goaltending. Gus Bus is not it. Throw in the Wallstead kid in.
No, Gus
I
Bus
heavily
is it,
disagree
dude.
with that.
Gus Bus is
Text.
it.
Yeah, and then roll the dice or bring Fleury back.
Gus played amazing that
Wait,
series.
did he bring Fleury back?
Roll the dice or bring Fleury
He's
back.
retiring.
Yeah.
He's
Retiring.
done. He's done.
I don't know if this was a troll or not, but
That might have
I
been.
loved it. I want to hear
It's
it.
like what Dank said today in the Discord. He's like, I could really see the Avs going
No.
after Fleury. I'm like, he just did this entire.
No, he was talking
year-long-
about Crosby. He was talking about Crosby. You read that wrong.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. I thought people were talking about Flower playing in Colorado. I was gonna say he hated this entire. You could tell. I listened to his final presser today. Very touching. We're gonna get into that stuff later. He hated this season. Not hated like he didn't hate this season, but all the shows and the ceremonies. Like Fleury's not coming back. I think strictly because he doesn't want to do all that again.
Yeah.
He hated the attention that was on him constantly. And he didn't want to get choked up everywhere he played. So I have heard a few people talk about Fleury still playing. I'm like, he's not going to do all that again.
No, because he kind of did it the year before because we didn't know, and then he's like, I'm coming back, and he kind of did it again.
Yeah.
And
Which
but
it
was
has me
kind of
thinking,
official.
dude, when LeBron retires, imagine all of the ceremonies because he loves that attention. Imagine what his retirement year will be like.
Every single NBA team,
So bad.
every single NBA team is part of their promotional schedule is going to have a LeBron James night.
And he's going to milk every bit of it.
He's going to have to do. I'm going to do a speech every night. No. You're playing in Boston. No, I'm doing a speech to the fans.
But yeah,
They're
like,
Celtics fans.
Fleury hated. He could tell he just hated doing those things. And I mean, I know he appreciates them. They're very cool. It's got to get so old so fast. But
Yeah.
yeah, you hopefully Wallstead's good. I mean, it's a good transition at least into kind of like some of the off-season stuff. Obviously, this is a legacy off-season for Bill Guerin. This is really the first year where he's kind of just free to shoot from the hip. The Parisian Suter buyouts are finally over.
Finally stopped. They're finally out of our lives
Yep.
officially.
Well, I still had to fucking watch Ryan Suter play
Yeah.
yesterday.
He's
Which, you know
still
what?
no.
I was going to tweet, happy stat. Another year goes by of Ryan Suter not winning the Stanley Cup, but I'm like, he's got kids here still. Like their dad might be a dickhead, but you got to think his kids probably hate all the hate that goes to him. Booed in the arena. And
Fun fact: Ryan Suter lives across the street from a cousin,
Okay.
and their kids come over all the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see, that's why.
Yeah, so you can
that's
have
why
a
I
little chat
withheld
with them.
From, but just know that another year went by of Ryan Suter not winning the Stanley Cup, which is just great. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, what do you guys think they do? I think it's pretty obvious as re-signing Kirill has got to be a top priority.
Yeah, this is a great comment from Daryl that relates to this. Is Rossi going to stay? I feel terrible that he got down to the fourth line most of the series. What do you guys think is going to happen with Rossi?
He got buried in the fourth line between Trenyon and Brazeau. It seems like they've given up on him, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't.
They were only
honestly.
playing him 11, 12 minutes a game. He scored 2 goals in the playoffs.
I
mean,
thought he was.
obviously his toughness probably wasn't there. I'm guessing that's kind of what it came down to. But that was his first playoff series, by the way, because last year was his first full year with the team.
Yeah.
Maybe
So
the year before a little bit, but yeah, we didn't make the playoffs last year, and that was kind of his breakout year. So this was kind of a first time in the playoffs.
yeah, I don't know. I thought he played well enough. I mean, if we can use his cap space to get a couple guys that would be inserted to the lineup to help excel him too. I don't know. I thought he did a lot of these. Like we said, a lot of our stars like Boldy kind of cooled off near like the last few games. Kaprizov. And guys like Ryan Hartman and Foligno
Stepped
just
up
looked
so hard.
fantastic, you know, and they're like the guys that were getting shit all year. They're the older guys, and they look great. I don't know. I think Rossi will be. I don't know.
His stock's never been higher, so we're gonna go after XYZ players we think we can get for him. But I just don't understand it after he has shown drastic improvement. He skipped his sister's wedding to stay here and skate. He's skipped out on another really important milestone type thing in his life to stay and has gotten significantly better and bigger and stronger and smarter. And it just, it kind of felt like by the end of the year, they just gave up on him, at least in the playoffs. Apparently him and Hines had a very grown man conversation the way he worded it, but then at his final presser, he said, they asked him, like, do you believe you're a top 6 player? And he said, absolutely. And yeah, I mean, so
Hard to say.
something that Russo is writing about is how he could get offer sheeted, which I kind of read up on what an offer sheet is. I believe this only applies, people in the chat can correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's basically where, like, if someone's on a rookie deal and they're looking to extend them, even if they're restricted, another team can basically just come in and say, hey, man, you're not making enough money. I will pay you more money to play for my team. Keep in mind, this is while he's under contract. And if the team doesn't match that, boom, he's gone.
Yep.
Which I think who offer sheeted a few points? Was it the Oilers GM or was it Winnipeg?
The
who did
Oilers
it?
lost like Hathaway or someone like that.
To an offer sheet from St.
Correct.
Louis, I think, actually.
Correct. And then he went off.
Yeah, so I don't know how long these offer sheet things have been around, but apparently that could happen if we don't trade him, and then he's just gone, which that would fucking blow. So I don't know. Either way, Kirill is priority one.
He's getting extended, and then you sign Leon Draisaitl.
Then you re-sign Brazeau to a max deal.
Yeah, and then there you go. We're rounded out the new
And
cap first year.
Just pay all the current players more money.
Yeah,
Everyone gets a bonus. It's like fucking Christmas vacation.
yeah. Little bonus. Don't sign anyone new, and we're off to the races. That's what we're doing with their first year with this extended cap.
Or you know what you could do? You could bring Suter back. I'm pretty sure he's a free agent.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He's been hopping on 1-year deals. Right?
So we just get up. We just get off the
comes out
cap
of
hill.
retirement. This all was just to get them at a cheaper price.
Yeah, right. It was a 5-year plan to bring him back. It was all part of a long-term
Dude.
plan.
They would kill him.
Yeah.
Garen would literally need like Secret Service.
Well, they're both 40 years old.
Imagine like, yep, we announced Parisi is out of retirement and Suter's back, but they're only getting paid the league veteran minimum.
This was Bill's like, this is the only way I was going to get him in my organization. It was kind of a long-term plan that I kind of kept behind closed doors. It's just like if the Vikings were to go after Kirk Cousins, it was part of their plan to get him at a cheaper rate, just give him to another team, and knew he was going to not perform as well, but then bring him back at a cheaper rate. So that could be the same thing with Parisi and Suter.
Zuki had a very good quote. He was asked, how did the season go? He said, well, Brock shot me in the balls. That was my only hiccup I had this year.
Yeah, I would
The
say
ol-
so. But he
The only other thing that I worry about a little bit is the second goalie situation. Because we now are in an NHL era where you need 2 goalies. The workload, the game is just faster. It's harder on these guys. You don't see any teams starting the same goalie every single night. And I don't know if Wallstad is going to be ready.
I don't know. When he's come in a couple of times, I haven't been that impressed, to be honest with you.
Nope.
But I think he still hasn't played enough, honestly,
He
too.
spent most of the year hurt.
Yeah. So I think if you bring him up as the permanent number 2 and he gets those reps and at practice and all that and plays a few more, a lot more games, he might be able to come to his own a little bit. But yeah, he hasn't. I guess he just hasn't had the experience yet. Still, I don't think we're giving him the opportunity or a shot yet. Yeah. I don't know. We got to give him his chance. We'll see.
What do you got, Sarge?
Yeah. Okay, we got a few comments. Alex wants to bring home Besser, and then Ty, number 1 Twitch fan, says, "Bring in Marner."
Yeah, the Marner thing is interesting. That's going to be a really expensive price tag for one guy.
He's a baller.
But we could do it.
Yeah.
But
Because they're thinking you got to re-sign Kirill to about 14 to 15 AAV.
Yep.
That's kind of what they're projecting. But then the cap's going up, I believe.
yep.
It depends if you re-sign Rossi. Mm-hmm. It'd be cool, I guess. You know what? I'll wait until if he goes off in the second round, then I want him. But his big criticism is Marner has not been great in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And
Who else hasn't been good in the playoffs? The Wild.
literally, that'd be why I'd be a match made in heaven.
Yeah.
Fuck.
It's true.
Yeah, dude.
You're not wrong.
But no, Marner would be. I mean, there's some interesting options. Besser, I mean, yeah, because he's a free. He's definitely done in Vancouver. I mean, they had the signing thing, like they're not going to re-sign him. I guess it depends if the price is right. If we feel he's a good fit in Minnesota, if Bill likes him, I guess it all comes down to that. You don't want to just go after the best player willy nilly. You got to be like, we're going to offer him a lot of money. Is he going to be right for our system? Is he the right player with our team? I mean, there's a lot of factors that go into it. So
He's going to be great on the corporate side, though, if you think about all the local businesses that are going to do ads with Burnsville native. Burnsville Automotive, is that a big one?
Rock Hard
Landscaping
and
out of
Supply
Burnsville.
is in Burnsville. Patio Town is in Burnsville. I'm thinking of landscaping
Sources in
places.
the field are telling me that Securian Financial is going to be getting the naming rights to the stadium, so the arena. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking they're probably going to maybe dye his hair green or something.
Burnsville High School could get their reputation back up, so
Yep.
maybe he can go be a spokesperson for that school.
Yep.
Some people may not be happy about that, me saying that, but it's kind of true. It's true. I'm an alum, so it doesn't matter.
Final thing on the Wild, we got to stop going to Game 6s.
I think we
You
do.
have to.
But then again, dude, someone...
Are we 0-3? I'm 0-2.
I'm 0-3. I went to St. Louis, I went to Dallas, and now I went to...
Did I go to St. Louis?
You went to St. Louis for sure. Someone pointed out, they're like, well, the Wild aren't very good in Game 6s either, so it's not really your fault.
It's not your fault at all.
No, we weren't at the Game 6 in St. Louis. That was in St. Louis.
Oh, okay, so
I
that
think.
might have been Game 5 then.
We might have lost. I thought we lost in Game 6, though. I can look at this.
Playoff game I've been to sucks dick.
I think I remember we were at Tom Reed's and it was on my birthday, and they lost in Game 6. Or maybe
Yes.
We were sitting at Tom Reed's
Then
in
we
the
hung
back.
out with Audra Martin.
Yeah,
after.
that's right. But
Yeah.
we were in Tom Reed's. It might have been at the X. We just didn't go. But I don't know what the
Right.
home
Right,
ice
right,
advantage
right.
was.
Okay.
But we were watching it. We were in St. Paul for it.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but we're at least 0-2 at Wild Game 6s. I was thinking today, I'm like, have I ever witnessed a Wild playoff game and win in person? Because I've been to like 5 games now. But I
Game 3 against
Yep,
Dallas.
that was the only
that
one.
was electric.
That was awesome. Yeah. Only time I witnessed I think I've now witnessed every Minnesota Major League team I've witnessed them win a playoff game in person, which is weird.
Well, that's like Rory McIlroy's Grand
Yeah.
Slam for Minnesota sports fans.
It is.
That's the Minnesota sports Grand Slam.
Because that is almost kind of rare if you think about it. Because
Yeah.
you've gone to so I've witnessed the only Vikings playoff win I ever witnessed was the Minneapolis Miracle. First game I ever went to at US Bank Stadium.
Good-
And then
good pick.
Twins, the wild card, and then
For you, Jake.
Wild
You know, that's
Wolves last year, surprisingly.
I can't say the same. I think I've been to the Twins game when we beat Toronto. That was big. That was the first
Yep.
time since I was about 8 that we won one. That was, 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen the Wild beat Dallas. Oh, we watched the Wolves. Yeah, beat the Nuggets.
Yeah, it was game
I think
6.
the Vikings are the only one I've checked off. Although I went to a lot of regular season games. I don't think when I went to a lot of Vikings games growing up, they were ever in the playoffs.
No, probably not.
Back in the Dome days.
Yep.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about
More insulting Minnesota
yeah,
stuff.
just to keep it kind of
Keep
tie
the
up
negativity going.
last two.
Let's keep it going here.
There was a stat that was released that NBA NFL. The most recent championship for the Minneapolis was the Minnesota Twins winning the World Series in 1991. Minneapolis has 4 active teams: the Wolves, the Twins, the Vikings, and the Wild. Technically, that's not Minneapolis, but
They mean the market, the Minnesota, Minneapolis.
yes.
We're the number
Obviously,
one market.
the Lynx have crushed it, and the Frost won last year. But if you're talking the 4 major men's sports, we stink.
No, 34 years, 120 plus seasons. We are that. And that's not just without a championship. That's without a finals appearance.
Yeah.
In any of the major sports like that. It
Close last
exceeds-
year.
We were close last year, but that's we always get close.
Yeah.
We always get close. And I want to give we want to disclose that we know the Lynx and the Frost have won stuff. And I know that created a firestorm on our social media.
Yes, it did.
It wasn't.
but I'm
Luckily,
like-
it wasn't people attacking us. It was people arguing together over
Yeah.
what constitutes a major sport or not.
So, people were like, I saw a couple people that were like, this is an insult to women's sports. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is an insult to men's sports. This just shows how many seasons and years we have been around and haven't won shit.
Yeah.
Like, the women's sports, have been around have been in existence far less than the men's sports and have won championships. And I know, there's an argument, I know, the PWHL only has 6 teams. The WNBA only has 12 or 13 teams, so there's less competition to go through the men's leagues. Statistically, it is harder to win a championship because there's more teams and competition you got to go through.
Yeah.
But still, Minnesota teams have been around far longer. They've been on the precipice of winning championships several fucking times, being in the NFC Championship game, ALCSs, even in our lifetime. And they've had good enough teams to win championships, especially the Vikings.
Yeah.
But they always fucking choke.
to 4 Super Bowls.
They always 4 Super Bowls, but I'm talking about in this last 30 years.
Oh, yeah.
They've been in 2 NFC Championships games. The Twins, they've had good enough teams to win. They have been at that stage, like the women's teams, but they always choke or lose in disappointing fashion. Whereas the women's teams, when they get to that stage, they find a way to win. And so it's frustrating. So I'm like, this is an insult. This is insulting the men's sports,
It
if
is.
anything. But yeah, we are on. I don't know, dude. I think the next market they said was Detroit or somebody without a finals appearance, and that there's still 60 combined
They're
seasons.
pretty
behind
rough,
us.
but all of their teams are on the rise right now.
Well, the Pistons won in 05, right? With Flip Saunders, shout out, rest in peace. But yeah, they're on the rise, but they still don't. And the Detroit Tigers went to the World Series 17 years ago. The next market below us, if it is Detroit, we are exceeding them by so many combined seasons without even a finals appearance. This stat is ridiculous. It just shows how much of a drought we're in amongst the 4 major sports. It's just that have been around for decades. I mean, decades. And we haven't done shit.
Jake, I think I have an explanation though of why we've been going through this drought. Since 91.
Yeah.
Because we knocked down the one building that it happened in.
Yeah, the Metrodome. Yeah, when did we knock it down?
I've never thought about that ever.
2012?
You
2011?
guys all said it sucked. You were sick of sharing it with other teams. The troughs, the steep stairs, the fucking thing collapsed. Nope. You know what? Magic was made there, and we got rid of it.
I think
it back.
I think even before it was tore down, 3 or 4 years before that, is when Gopher football moved out back to campus.
Yeah.
They should have stayed in.
Let's tear down US Bank Stadium and rebuild the Metrodome.
and then bring back the Gophers and tear down Huntington Bank Stadium.
No, tear down all the stadiums. And actually, not the Securian The future.
No. Tear that down too. Let's get the Wild into this new Metrodome.
Dude.
Let's get everybody. Get the St.
That'd
Paul
be
Saints
sick.
in there. Have
That'd
dual
be
games
sick.
going on. Have
St. Thomas hockey.
Well, I know when they had the dome, St. Thomas. I know when they had the dome, they would make it like for basketball. They would just cut off half of the stadium.
Yeah,
they obviously
dude.
wouldn't use the whole thing.
I remember going to Gopher games, like Gopher football games, while the Twins were still playing, and you can still kind of see like the sand on the ground. And I'm like, this is disgusting.
Well, I remember like the Michigan game, the notorious Michigan game in 2003, in which the Gophers blew a 28 point or 21 point fourth quarter lead. Anyway, they moved that game, I think, to like an afternoon game or a night game because the Twins were playing that afternoon or the next day or something in the playoffs. So yeah, you'd see that shit all the time.
I mean, the month of September had to be just an absolute disaster in that stadium.
Well, especially if the Twins were in the playoffs or the Vikings. Oh, jeez.
Hopefully, the Wolves can fix this stat this year.
Yeah, they could. They could end it.
Yeah, we had a comment from Lamar. Do you think Minnesota sports will win a championship in 5 years? Over under 5 years of a championship in Minnesota.
God, dude, people have probably been asking that every 5 years. 5 years ago, 10 years ago.
And we started the company more than 5 years ago, and they
I'm gonna say no,
links.
based on the sample size we have
Yeah.
of decades. I'm gonna say no. I think 5 years ago I said it was gonna be
make
the
one.
Wild.
I don't know if they'll win one, but I think they'll make one soon. You think the Wolves or the Wild? I mean, I know the Wild haven't got out of the first round, but they're on. If everything goes well in the offseason and they build to what they're going to, it's possible.
Without
The
that cap hit.
The Vikings are building to what's possible. The Wolves are already showing what's possible. Like, feels like we're gonna get there eventually. The Twins suck.
Yeah,
The Twins will never win a World Series in my lifetime.
They'll
Until
maybe
they get new owners, they will never fucking do it.
Yeah, I think to say they're going to win a championship is a stretch, but making it to a finals appearance, which again, that is also the drought we're talking about since '91. I think that's very doable in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
The way the teams are
Yeah,
playing,
for sure. They're all trending up.
I think the Wolves and Wild, honestly, as much as we shed on the Wild for being in those stats, I just think that they are on the rise with the cap hit. The
know what?
Vikings, maybe. I don't know.
If Joel Damon wins the 3M Open, I'm counting that as a Minnesota championship.
Yeah, because he was here and you talked to him, so.
He's a good guy.
And if he wins the 3M Open and then wins a major or something, or wins the Tour Championship, then he's for sure counting in that.
Yeah.
In that.
Then we'll
little
hang a
bit.
banner for him, just a picture of his face.
So yeah.
All right, let's move on to our gracious sponsor, Captain's Patch, folks. Our beer. We really appreciate everyone at the X who is drinking it. And guess what? Frost playoffs are actually starting. I believe it's next week. And you can buy Captain's Patch there. So if you're going to keep the Minnesota hockey tradition alive, going to the Frost playoff games, you can drink Captain's Patch there. And if you're going to Twins games, I know there's a homestand coming up. Royce Lewis is back. Maybe things are going to look up. Either way, drinking a Captain's Patch at the Twins game is the best way to do it. So at Target Field, make sure to get it at section or gate 34 or in the self-serve cooler in left field. Also, if you're going to be going to Frost games at the X, it's still sold in sections 105, 115. A lot of people were buying it at the X on Thursday, man. I saw a lot of people with Captain's Patch getting tagged in all the stories. So keep tagging us, keep showing us you're drinking it, telling people where you found it. People have been buying it at the liquor stores in cans. And it's the summer of Captain's Patch. Regardless of how our team's doing, we're going to be the captains this summer by drinking this lovely beer. CaptainsPatch.com, 21 plus. All right. Let's just talk a little more general hockey. Some absolute madness happening in Game 7s this weekend. We had the Avalanche lose to the Stars on Saturday. Let's start with that. That was a collapse by the Avalanche.
Yep.
To say the least.
Mikko Rantanen just giving the biggest fuck you to the organization that just traded him for didn't even consult his friends, McKinnon, Makar, Landeskog. No one even knew about it. Then he has that weird stint in Carolina for like a month and then gets traded to Dallas and ultimately slays the dragon that was his former team by scoring a hat trick too, including the empty netter.
Yep.
So
Plus
you know
an
what?
assist.
Capped it off.
Good for him. Good for him. The Avalanche are a shitty organization for what they did to him, and they got what they deserved for it.
Yeah, I thought Colorado was going to honestly kind of run away with that series early on. Or, like, not run away with it, but kind of take, like, a 2-0 lead, and then Dallas is going to maybe try to make a little bit of an effort back. But they really, and especially the having a 2-0 lead going into the third period. I mean, you can't ask for. I mean, that's as a general fan, like that's and going in. We'll talk about the Winnipeg game. I mean, as a general fan, it's exciting, but like it's
it means nothing too. 2-goal
crazy.
leads literally never mean anything.
no, but you
Dangerous lead
No.
in hockey. I was gonna say too. Another crazy stat is that Pete DeBoer has 9 straight Game 7 wins, while the Avs have lost 7 straight Game 7s as an organization. So I don't know what Pete DeBoer does, dude. I don't know if he like enters up, A, B, down, right trigger, right stick, left stick, and they just win Game 7s. 9 straight is insane. With 4 different teams in his career.
I think he
How
was
is that
with-
possible?
he was with what? Florida,
Vegas.
Vegas
Sharks.
Sharks,
and the Stars.
that's crazy.
And
for him.
And McKinnon, I don't think has ever won a Game 7 in his career. There's another stat I heard. So like
When they won the cup, they never went to a Game
they
7.
never had a Game 7.
Wow. That sucks. It sucks for them, too, like, because I know McKinnon was getting frustrated for all those years not winning a cup. They finally win a cup, and they're just going right back down to where they were before. That's got to be
they-
so frustrating
And
that
they
you can't.
balled out at the deadline too. Like they
Yep.
bring in Mackenzie Blackwood, who was like their first competent goalie since Darcy Kemper.
Yeah.
They bring in Brock Nelson. I don't think he did anything really
No.
since 4 Nations, including in that tournament. So for Wild fans who want to bring him in, I say no way, touche. Especially as a that's coming from a North Dakota fan. Speaking of,
Brock Nelson looks so old. He's like 30-something. He's in his early 30s.
I saw a meme that was like, it was a screenshot of like first ever documented game of hockey in 1919. And there's like a picture of it, and then they did the thing where you point an arrow to the person, then it blows up their face.
Yeah.
And it's Brock Nelson.
Yeah. He might have been there. He might have been that first game 106 years ago. Just secretly aging younger.
Yeah, the Tits Girl is back.
At
Behind
the
the
Dallas
glass.
game.
She ever?
Glass Banger's still in jail, but Tits Girl is back. So
Glassbanger could be back by the conference semis, though, or something, maybe.
yes, yeah. So he's getting out. Yeah, he'll be on parole though. So I don't know if he'll be able to like if he has to go to like a halfway house in between.
Yeah. They probably won't let him into that
guaranteed,
arena.
actually.
But there's also some motherfucker who's been banging on the glass in his place. I don't know if you guys have watched those games. There's another guy who's I think like
At the refs?
just anytime the play is in their zone, it's a Dallas fan probably sitting 8 seats right of him. That just dun 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 the entire time.
That's so annoying.
Oh man.
That's like the equivalent of soccer fans just blowing horns the entire time. Well, I saw a video of a guy. I forgot maybe it was in Winnipeg actually. I forgot where it was, but the guy just kept banging on. He was rink side and he kept banging on the glass whenever the ref was going between like the just kind of going back and forth like in a small area like by the blue line because the puck was like kind of getting close to getting out, and the guy would be right behind the ref on the glass, right behind his head, banging, "Hey, fuck you, bang, bang, bang," and then he'd move a little bit to the left, and he'd be right
And he'd
behind
show
his-
up there.
and he'd just be banging, and like this ref had
Just being hell.
insane composure, like he wasn't turning around because he has to monitor the game, but he heard it. This guy was pounding the glass, like to the point where I feel like he could break a fist.
Yeah.
So it's funny those fans that do that stuff.
What else in that game? I guess just shout out Jake Ottinger. He played great. You know, Lakeville North grad.
Yes, I think he's north.
He's just a Lakeville guy.
Yeah, he's a Lakeville guy in general. He's from Minnesota.
Yep. So it's good to see at least someone in Minnesota
Yeah,
to play in the playoffs, I guess.
good for him. I didn't want Dallas to win.
No.
I never want him to win.
No, we don't.
The history there, but good for Ottinger. Good for, especially the way their fans were a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Like fuck them. But whatever. I don't like Colorado either, so it was kind of like a hard series to watch in terms of who you want to win, but it was still very entertaining because those two teams are always neck and neck, and I should say going after each other's balls.
Yep.
Getting that tough. So it was a fun series to watch as a fan. Or a fun series, yeah.
Yeah, and then moving to the later Game 7 played on Sunday night, also bananas. I had to play beer league last night, so in Connor Hellebuck's honor, I let in 10 goals. But
Yeah.
I left my apartment and it was 3-1 at the end of 2, and I was like, okay, Winnipeg looks terrible. You know, they lost one of their best defensemen. I was like, this one's done. They're cooked. So I left, and then I was in the locker room after the game, and I was like, holy shit, they're still playing, and it's going to a second overtime. So from what I saw, I mean, you guys were probably were you guys watching the game?
I wasn't able to watch either.
Okay.
Yeah, I watched the whole game.
Yeah, I wasn't able to watch.
So they pulled Hellebuck with 2 minutes and 41 seconds,
Yeah, yep.
down
Down.
2 goals,
Yep.
scored one, I think, kind of right away
Off a Suter.
off of Suter. Love that. And then
Minnesota fashion.
And then they score the game tying goal with 1.6 seconds left. Just pure cinema.
I know.
I mean,
So I was monitoring it on my phone because I'm like, oh, I'm curious. Yeah, this game 7's going on. I wasn't able to really watch it. I saw they're down 3-1. I'm like, holy shit, yeah, dude, St. Louis is gonna pull this off. And then I saw it was 3-2 last I checked. I'm like, okay, whatever. And then I think my dad texted me, "You watching the game?" And it was like a long amount of time after that I last checked the score with 2 minutes left. I'm like, it's still on? And I look it up, 3-3, and I see the box score, and they scored with 1.6 seconds left. And I was able to watch like the end of second overtime. But when I was watching, I'm like, this might go into like 3 or 4 overtimes. So there's always one game like that in the first round.
also, I know it's been a matchup all series, but Bennington versus Hellebuck, just like the Four Nations tournament.
Yep.
So that was kind of a revamped rivalry. But honestly, like after seeing St. Louis lose that game and blow that lead and go to overtime with 1.6 seconds left, I feel a little less bad about our thing.
I was going to say, I noted I would rather have lost the way the Wild did in Game 6 than force a Game 7 in Vegas and lose in like double overtime like that and blow a 2-goal
I'd
lead.
rather get
We would
swept.
do that.
I'd rather get swept
Yeah.
than have
Yes.
that. Did you see videos from like their watch parties? I mean, the whole place is going wild. You know, as it goes 3-2, they win that face-off, they pass it over, they shoot, they get off the rebound, and it's just pure devastation. I mean, you thought that video I saw from like a FanDuel Sportsbook party or something, it looked like fucking Jonestown. Like everyone was just dead.
Yeah, dude. I think if that happened to the Wild, in either way, whether they're on the end of where they would come back by 2 goals and win in overtime or blew that, St. Paul would have burned down.
And because
People would
you
be
knew,
so
like,
pissed.
St. Louis fans are probably thinking it. We would have thought it. That happens. You're like, we're going to lose in overtime. We're not going to win this
Yep.
game now.
That was like us in Game 5 in the
Yep.
demoralizing way of the offsides call. You know St. Louis fans were thinking that,
There's
for
just-
sure.
You can tell yourself whatever you want mentality-wise as the players, the fans. There's no way to come back from that.
There's just no, that is just that's so rough.
Just-
man, I mean, good for St. Louis on battling and that coming back. They were essentially like the number 8 seed in this case, and
They barely made the playoffs, just like the Wild.
barely made it. And that's the beauty of the NHL playoffs. That's what makes it so great is series like this. You don't see teams being down 2-0 playing a team like Winnipeg in the NBA and NBA
President's
equivalent.
Cup winners too.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
best regular season team. Which, you know what,
That's a curse.
I was gonna say usually it results in a first round elimination.
Mm-hmm.
So I honestly thought, and I don't know what's with Hellebuck in the playoffs. It's just got to be a mental thing. I mean,
Yeah.
Jake, I know you are a goalie as well. I don't know, the technical side too well as I just started playing the last few years, but there were just some angles he was at where there's just some stuff he did. That first goal, how he like bit on that pass, like some shit that he did that he would never do regularly. But it just seemed like those first 2 goals, I think he let in 2 goals on 3 shots. I was like, oh my God, he's broken.
I think it's clearly like nerves and like you go through the regular season and you're like, oh, we're so great. Now it's like, oh shit, this is a whole new clean slate now.
Doesn't matter now.
And now it doesn't matter. Like now you're at the stage where you have to play well and there's a lot of eyes on you, a lot of nerves, and like you just probably start overthinking things. You're like, oh, I got to be at my best in my game, and he's not playing loose and just. I feel like during the regular season.
Overthinking moves and
Yeah,
angles.
yeah, exactly. He's like, oh shit, am I on my angle? Like this is the playoffs, I gotta win, And in this regular season, he's just probably free flowing, not thinking, moving. So I feel like that happens to so many teams though. Like talking about President's Cup trophy winners in the past some years. But
Boston a couple of years ago when they had like the greatest season of all time, and then they lost in the first round to Florida.
Lightning against Columbus a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember that? They got like swept, I think.
there's gotta be so much pressure when you're that good in the regular season, and then you go into that. Oh shit, no, we don't just get a bye to the Stanley Cup.
And they had no Shifley too.
Yeah, I forgot about
And they
that.
just lost. I can't remember the other defenseman's name, but they lost someone to an injury in the first. I really do.
Their best one, Morrissey.
Yeah. So credit to them, man. I mean, they got a real test now with Dallas, but I
Cheering for Winnipeg.
I'm generally rooting for Winnipeg. I almost root for the Team USA guys. I'm rooting for Hellebuck and Connor and Nino Niederreiter, former Wild. He's still on Winnipeg. So
Winnipeg.
This is a good time for Lamar's question. Who do you want to win the Stanley Cup?
I'm gonna go.
Look at the teams again. Honestly,
I'm gonna go. You know what? I'm gonna go Winnipeg.
I am too. I
Like
want
I
them
said,
to win as well.
I'm a big Hellebuck supporter. I'm a big Hellebuck defender. Just American-born goaltender. Team
Yeah.
USA's goalie.
I think looking at the teams, Winnipeg, I do want to see Connor McDavid win a cup.
That'd be cool.
The way
I
the
also
emotions
think it's
were
kind of
last year.
funny every year he doesn't win one.
Yeah.
I honestly, I want the Leafs. I don't know whoever's going to win the cup. I want the Leafs to lose in the cup finals.
I would rather them just lose now to the
would also be
Panthers,
funny.
which they are winning right now 3-1 at the end of the first
Okay.
Oh, wow.
in game 1.
Also, thanks to the Four Nations, I'm a big Matty Tkachuk fan, so I wouldn't mind to see Florida win again.
Yeah, there's
That's
nothing
too
wrong.
many. That's
but
too
there's-
many.
But for a team in Florida in a tropical climate, it's just weird. Again, another
Yes.
Florida team. Tampa
but
Bay
dude-
won it twice in the last 5 years.
I kind of want to see them run in the ocean with it again. That was fucking awesome.
What about Ovi? Ty wants to
Ovi.
know about Ovi.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I just don't think that they're gonna do it. Something about the regular season was too magical. It feels like they don't have any room for any magic left. But
No, Carolina's just wickedly good for no reason. So
we talked about this before the show, dude. I'm sick of Carolina. I'm
Every year.
ready for them to be done. They're in the mix every year. They just can't make it to the Cup Finals. They can never do anything. I mean, they're like the Wild, but like a step higher.
they are.
Like they make it out of the first round very easily, good for them, but they never do anything beyond that. And I've had enough of it. They're boring. It's boring. The whole thing is boring.
They've been good. They won a cup. They won a cup in 06 with Eric
so
Stahl. So
just-
they've done it in the last 20 years already. So they can just go away.
It can just be done.
I know. Get another team into the mix in the
Yeah.
East.
It's just
Who else
it's
could
been a
be
lot
in
of the same teams every year, and I'm kind of getting over it a little bit. Like there's some obviously different ones now, but if it's a similar matchup, if
That's
it's
good.
like
Yeah.
Edmonton, I'm sorry. Like if Edmonton's in the Western Conference Final again, I'm gonna get because they're just gonna lose in the Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's get the Buffalo Sabres back into the
Yes,
fold.
let's do Sabres. Let's do Sabres versus Blackhawks.
Dude, can you imagine? You know how great,
teams in the league?
you know how great it would be if we had a in the same year Bills Vikings Super Bowl and then a Buffalo Sabres Wild Stanley Cup.
Oh,
That would actually be.
That'd be unreal. And I know the Sabres have won a cup, right? They've won cups in the past, haven't they? Years ago. Have they even ever won a cup?
don't
Are
think
they like the
I
Bills?
don't think so.
Dude, that'd be
I
hilarious.
can never think, and this is widely documented. I can never think of an era where the Buffalo Sabres were elite.
No, no. The Buffalo Sabres have not won the Stanley
when
Cup.
they had LaFontaine, they were fucking nasty. And no, they have never won a Stanley Cup.
They've been to the
Ever
final
been to
twice,
it? Oh, they've been to it
75
twice.
and 99.
They got us beat there.
They do.
Shit.
But it is kind of funny that now I'm looking. I never really thought about it. Both Buffalo and Minnesota's teams in both hockey and football have been equally unsuccessful in
Yep.
just doing shit.
At least though in hockey,
Well, recently Minnesota's been
we're trending upwards. I'm not
we-
saying we're overachievers by any means, but
Buffalo is dumping off players left and right. They can't make
they're
the
taking
playoffs.
all of our old players.
Yeah, they can't do. In terms of recent success, yes. In terms of like making the playoffs and postseason, but historic success of winning championships, no, we're on the same page. So that's funny, both on football too.
All right, let's transition to a little bit of baseball. Royce Lewis making his return tomorrow. That's fucking awesome.
Not quite. He's on the 10-day injured list.
Okay, so
with
but
Willie
almost.
Castro.
But he's back. Yeah, he's
With
coming
Willie
off-
Castro, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Castro
actually
as well.
Yeah, that's
So
huge.
those are two big players getting back. Pablo has been back, right?
Yep.
He was rehabbing
Yeah, and
last
he's been
week,
pitching
2 weeks
well.
ago. Yep. Everyone's knocking wood. Everyone's trending up.
Well, this is good because it's the Twins are catching a little bit of fire.
Yes. Just
And
the
like
tiniest little bit.
I could only watch half the game yesterday, but I'm like, oh, they're not 4-1. They're gonna lose this fucking game. And then I'm paying attention to it, and they just they went on for a few innings. They just went on a tear.
Yeah, beat
And
Boston, who's great team.
They won the series. So
Great team.
It's like this: Correa starts hitting, and we start winning. Go figure. Weird, dude. Weird.
He's off to the worst hitting start of his career, by the way. He's batting at 216 right now.
I know it.
Fielding has been great.
It was
so,
it was worse than 216 like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's like in the hundreds, so he's bumped it up a little bit.
I have a fix for that, by the way. You want to know what it is?
Yeah.
Bring back the trash cans.
Dude, I'm
knows-
down to cheat.
Korea, I know. I heard you just openly down to cheat, even though we gave Houston shit for cheating
You know what?
for years.
The Pohlads are such scumbags, anyways. Why not try to cheat? Too?
I'm surprised they actually haven't.
I know.
You got Korea. You
You're
got
trying to cheat the budget. Why not cheat the game itself, dude?
You got a guy who is inside the whole operation.
Yeah.
Why not try to utilize that, but do something a little different where it won't be caught, but then it will be caught because it always gets caught. But
So I wonder what it is, like why he's hitting so bad. I mean, he had the thing in his feet last season, right? The double something itis in his
he
feet.
was out for a while.
But he's been fielding better than ever, from what I read. Aaron Gleeman, shout out. I feel bad. I haven't not been able to pay attention to the Twins. There's just been so much going on between hockey and basketball and golf, and I will dial in on the Twins once. I could probably start doing that now. Now the Wild are done.
there's just so many games. It's just so hard to keep up. Like,
They are
every
only
game.
7 games back from the Tigers. That seems like a lot in only May, but it also feels like it should be worse.
Well, did I see like the Tigers are like 22-13, and that's the best record in the American League? I feel like that's not the best. That shouldn't be the best record in the American League. I can double check that. I thought I read that. I haven't actually looked at the standings.
I don't know.
That in depth. I checked the. Let me look by league. Yeah, Detroit is leading the American League at 22-13.
This kind of happened last year, though, didn't it? Everyone was
Yeah.
pretty bad, or not bad, but like there's a lot of parity last year.
Don't get me wrong, that's a good record, but I feel like the team should be over like 10 games over 500. Yeah, because it's 22-13, 20-13. Yeah, I mean, right now, I mean, when the Twins coming into last week's show and they had won like 6 of 7 and they went back down a little bit, but when they won that 6 of 7 games, like that helped them stay steady and probably keep Rocco's job. So,
Sarge,
for now.
as the baseball expert on this program, what's the state of the union right now?
It's actually a positive one right now. Bolt, just pitching overall has been a lot better, and the bats have been better. And it's weird, we're winning games.
I've heard our friend Louis Varland's lighting it up. He even made headlines for it.
So he's had a couple games where he's come in bad situations and gives up a run here and there. But he got his first win against the Red Sox, the second game of the series. But the fact that we're winning series now, like we've only won against the White Sox in the series, Angels, and now the Red Sox, which is not good to win 3 series in May total so far. But I don't know. I'm still a little worried. If the bats go cold, we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. Like I don't know. It's been frustrating. There's been I've watched a ton of games this year, and there was one game in particular where they had the bases loaded 4 times and scored 1 run.
See, I feel like that's just been Twins baseball since I was a kid, though.
It has been, but not to this level. I mean, Buxton's like leading the league in strikeouts. If you pitch him a slider outside, he's not hitting it, and that's like we've been thinking about making a video of him just all of his strikeouts with the same pitch because he does that all the time. But he started off the game with a homer. He was
did
in a
yesterday.
leadoff spot.
I saw that.
We've had just a bunch of different lineups. Like the guys that we signed have all been awesome. Ty France, Harrison Bader, in particular, have been fucking great. They've been our best
Bader.
2 players, honestly.
Bader, yeah.
Yeah, and Bader's hat never stays on. And he's just trying to show off the hair.
Well,
it's amazing.
He's got that damn headband that makes his hat
Yeah.
like this, so it does
And then
fly off.
he definitely has it on like the first.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he can look cool when he runs and dives, which you know what, it does look cool. So
Yeah.
good for him.
And like I would say that we have the best defensive outfield in the league by far. We are lights
heard.
out. We are lights out in
Specifically, the
defense.
outfield is just money.
Yeah. But we also lead the league in pitching errors or pitchers throwing to first base errors.
Okay,
at
that's
7,
Yeah,
which
we
is
talked
insane.
about that one.
Yeah, that's brutal. But I don't know. We'll see here. We need to beat more good teams like the Red Sox. Then I'll start really getting excited. I'm still gonna watch. I love the Twins, and it just sucks to see them kind of do nothing when we did really well and got in the playoffs. It's just classic fucking Twins.
Yeah, they gave us a taste of it a couple of years
Yeah.
ago, and now we want more. But long season. All right, let's talk about. This is just kind of a weird topic that I never thought would come together, but
It's like your wet dream, though.
it kind of is. Yeah, it's kind of two of my worlds that collided. So Justin Jefferson spent the weekend in Miami for the Miami Grand Prix, which was a great race for those motorheads out there. So a couple things happened. He helped the pit crew practice changing tires, and it was not as pretty as him catching a catch. So,
He can't. He's not multifaceted in every sport.
no,
especially
he
F1.
also
Oh,
was
damn
doing it in like shorts and a t-shirt, where usually they wear those big suits and helmets and stuff, and he was just out there with like fucking aviators and
just Gucci stuff.
skinny
and-
legs, like just
yeah.
trying to pick up a 30-pound tire. I think that's what they weigh.
Weigh a little more than a football, JJ.
Yeah. I also I had a tweet a video of that, and I just said Justin Jefferson leaving the Vikings to become a member of the Red Bull Racing pit crew team would be the most Minnesota thing ever. But after seeing his tire changing performance, I don't think we're in trouble. Yeah, he's just got
I don't think he
a
passed.
t-shirt on, like shorts.
Doesn't pass the combine. They probably even told him like, JJ, make sure you wear some pants and
Yeah, dude.
gloves, and he just
in
shows up
case-
like that.
Just in case a hot tire hits your leg or something. No.
Yeah, seriously though, like there could be like or oil or something it could get on you, or grease, something hot. It's hot out there.
Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Well, then the win. I think I saw the all I saw of this was the winner did the gritty. at
Oscar
the end.
Piastri did the
Yeah.
win.
Yeah.
Potentially the worst gritty of all time.
Sure.
I was gonna say.
I think everybody's gritty is just
Yeah,
bad, except for
especially a
JJ's.
white guy.
Especially a white dude.
Oscar's a white dude from Australia who's probably not watched a single second of American football. So
No way.
I think he gets a pass.
What about? Did you guys talk about? Sorry, I was answering some chats here, but did you see JJ show American snacks to that F1 driver from
No.
Japan?
Yuki Tsunoda, little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think? That kid is wild.
So, God, I wish I had this pulled up, but basically he hated every single one of the snacks. He said everything was way too sweet, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
So they tried a Twinkie, hated it. I'm not a Twinkie guy. They're gross. They're just, I don't
Fuck you, Sarge. They're good.
know. Do you like, I much rather have,
mean,
what the hostess,
The coconut.
no,
snowballs.
the black.
The chocolate
cupcakes.
ones?
Those. Give me 1,000 of
Well,
those.
don't get me wrong. If you eat enough of them, you do feel gross, and it can be gross. But I can eat a Twinkie. And,
People from other countries don't like processed foods because we're so used
They
to
are
like,
overly
eating
processed.
trash that anyone else tastes it. They're like, well, this isn't real. And we're like, fuck you. I don't care. It tastes good.
He also tried some Funyuns. He liked Funyuns.
Good.
Okay, yeah.
Which
was-
are so slept on. They're actually good. I don't
Some
know
of the
why
best
everyone
chips.
hates Funyuns.
Top 5 chip for me.
Dude, agreed.
If they are
Agreed.
chips, they're technically a chip. They're a chip.
And then he tried like gummy sharks. Did not like those.
Okay.
They were sticking in his teeth, and he was not a fan of that.
Yeah.
But dude, how big is he? He's tiny.
Yuki Tsunoda?
He looked,
Yeah, probably like 5'4".
yeah.
5'5".
He looked like a jockey, dude, from the Kentucky Derby.
They just make fun of him all the time for looking like a child. But
and a
also-
Pop-Tart, too.
Oh, he had Pop-Tart?
He
You
did not like
that?
the Pop-Tarts.
Oh no.
Which is sad.
I don't.
But then
like
again,
it.
dude, these F1 drivers are like so dedicated to their bodies and stuff that I guarantee half of them had never even tried like a candy bar before. They're almost like Nathan McKinnon. You know, you put like chocolate in front of them, they're like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah.
Also, someone on the 10K account over the weekend posted a video of Jetta's answering questions and took something horribly out of context by screen recording the best part. So I'm gonna play it right now.
Wide receiver skill fans don't realize is actually super hard.
Having to like beat off.
Yeah. They just cut it off.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
this wasn't from some other Twitter account.
What the wide receiver skill fans don't realize is actually super hard.
Having to like beat off.
Was that in the same interview, or did they mash it? Or was it mashed together?
This was like a Bleacher Report interview where someone was.
And Justin Jefferson literally started off the conversation having to beat off.
It might have been cut up.
Well, it's definitely sure, but he was probably saying having to beat off a guy. Well,
Oh,
when the guy's banging you, that was a
Yeah,
Charles Barkley
Charles
moment.
Barkley.
Moment.
and then then Shaq just starts dying.
Just
By the
dying.
way, too, just tying back hockey, the Shaq Hyman thing is amazing.
Dude, and he actually does the like the shoe. He's actually trying to do skating motion with his shoes, so it's like
Incredible.
squeaking, and he just goes in and just smashes a puck, knocks things all over the room. It's
I don't know if
awesome.
they've done, because I know they've done like the hockey crossover where Charles Barkley will come on their show.
Mm-hmm.
Have they? I think Biz has gone on the basketball one.
I think he might
See
have.
him like shoot a 3-pointer.
I think he needs to do more
It's gotta look
collaboration.
just terrible.
Oh man, it's got to be worse than Shaq shooting. I mean, Shaq shooting a puck actually kind of terrified me a little bit, to be honest with you. I feel like he could still just smash one at you.
Well, and I mentioned this on the show, but Charles Barkley put on goalie pads for one of the things.
Oh, no.
He's just like he just had the block with
oh,
the stick
yeah,
and the
that's
glove.
right.
Anytime a goalie's playing bad, I tweet that and I say like, Connor Hellebuck in the first period. It's just
Tonight.
Charles Barkley.
Yeah.
Goalie stuff. All right, let's talk about merch really quick, folks. We just released some new designs on our shop, 10ktakesmn.com. Some awesome hats. Just hit that. Also, I think there's a Bogies with Boss Man shirt on there that Marlo designed. Pretty cool. Little 10K logo on the front of it. So just go to 10ktakesmn.com and buy some of the merch. Help supports us. Help support everything we're trying to do here. And you can look pretty cool. Some of the stuff. I'm biased. I wore the Billy Guerin shirt out in Stillwater this weekend, and some rave reviews on that. So 10ktakesmn.com, and then just view the whole collection from there.
We also have Frost T-shirts. They just made the playoffs. Go
Yep.
check those out too.
Yeah, you're seeing it right here. Let's run it back. 2 championships in a row, Jake.
We're back. Yep. It's just like what you're saying. The women's teams can get there.
Yep.
We can't. Or men can't. The men's sports can't.
Yep.
Even after years and decades of being in existence.
Let's move on to a tougher story. So a family in St. Louis Park. This has been a viral story. Actually, a viral story across the country. I didn't know.
As it should be.
Because it's stupid. It's so dumb.
Until I searched this, how much it blew up. So, for those who don't know what happened, perfect. I had the article pulled up, and then my ad blocker decided to fuck me. All right, here we go. It's full court press legal battle over a basketball.
Don't use that terminology.
Yes.
Did the journalist use that?
CBS News. Yes.
Crapes. He's sitting there, whoever wrote it.
Now, ready?
I love that. I use that one.
The dribbles and layups in one family's driveway are now causing headaches in another's.
They need to stop with
Not-
the wordplay.
The word others wasn't, but I think they should have added that. But no, it was the dribbles and layups in one family's driveway are now causing headaches. We've lived here for 11 years, but new neighbors moved in about a year ago, and they asked to move our basketball hoop, said Lily Moding, who lives in St. Louis Park, Minnesota. Jake, your neighborhood.
Yeah.
People that you share space with.
Yep, this is who I associate with.
After realizing it was 6 inches too close to the property line, Moding and her husband, who have 2 young sons, use the hoop, did just that. But the relocation wasn't enough for those next door. The neighbors appealed to the city after the Modings got legal okay for their new placement. Which, by the way, I wonder if it's one of those hoops where there's the weights and the wheels on it.
No,
it's
it's
not.
a legit one.
No, where they're
It was one in the
concreting
ground.
in?
Yep. And they pulled it out and did everything to appease them.
Dude.
And it's on their property line, and they're still pissed off about it.
I remember when my dad was doing that in our yard, like the whole concrete, like it was a full day project getting that hoop up. So that makes this even worse. Quote unquote, it's immediately in the front of my door. I cannot walk out my door. I park outside of my door, and I'm face to face with them, and balls are flying directly at me, said the next door neighbor at a city council meeting. He stepped over, got the ball, brought it back, and that's enough to get a restraining order, Moding said, questioning a restraining order filed against her husband at the same city council meeting. The restraining order has been since dismissed.
Yeah.
It goes on to about more and more, but I mean, are we allowed to deport these people?
Seriously.
Can we we just start deporting losers like this?
Edit the Trump's policies, I
Yeah.
guess. I don't know. But if you get into a stupid lawsuit, well, no, I'm like, if you don't want to deal with other people in a neighborhood, in a suburb, I don't know, move to Antarctica or something. Like, because you're in a neighborhood in a busy suburb that have kids. Like, you don't want them to play basketball in their property on their driveway. I have no clue. It baffles me.
They should have to play. The kids should play the neighbors for the hoop in a game of 2-on-2.
Mm-hmm. They should make it like a movie style.
Yeah, and
you know?
and if the kids win, then they get to they get to build a bridge between their driveways and basically have a full court,
Or
concrete, or
they just tear down their house and they build a full-on court.
they do a second house, dude.
Yeah.
In my fraternity, we talked about that. One of the fraternity houses next door was like, we were thinking they were going to get kicked out of their house. We're like, dude, should we buy their house and just have 2 houses and build a tunnel? They could basically do that, but for a basketball court. Or loser goes home, loser moves. You
Yeah.
know, the poor Modlings have been here for, what did she say, 11 years? And these people just moved in a year ago, and they're already trying to run shit.
That's just that's crazy to me.
We're going to sue them. We're going to sue the family next door. That's what I said.
I think we're gonna get the whole we're gonna get our whole fans to sue them.
Yep.
No, I don't know. We don't
It's just, dude, these people should be in jail for even filing.
It's bizarre.
It's just, I'd imagine they've dropped the lawsuit since, just considering this is blown up. I mean, these people's lives next door. It probably doesn't take long to find.
Kids playing outside, which there's so many kids playing inside on iPads right now. You should be celebrating.
I know.
Seriously.
I know. Like so many. I feel like there's so many people out there in neighborhoods that like actually, especially older folks that probably praise kids being outside and love seeing it because, yeah, it is the iPad kid generation now. They've taken like the get off my lawn mode up to a whole new level.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
Yeah, maybe the ball, rolls over into the neighbor's yard here and there. Like, what's
happens.
It'd be different if your house is getting fucking pelted by line drives or something.
Or they're playing baseball in the backyard.
Yeah.
And yeah, that'd be a whole different thing. Well, dude, growing up in a cul-de-sac and growing up with kids like my age, around my age, we would be playing wiffle ball in our cul-de-sac and throwing footballs, throwing frisbees. I remember
dude.
frisbees would get stuck on my neighbor's roof all the time, and
Right.
he didn't care. We had one neighbor that was kind of bitchy, but whatever. No one cared.
It's just drop the lawsuit. Do the right thing. What do you got, Sarge? You have anything else?
No. You are saying. So this is a funny comment from Alex here. Isn't Mo Dang that baby hippo everyone loved last year?
Dude, it is. Yeah, that's the baby hippo. Which is that? What happened to that thing? Is it just grown up now? And
Yeah,
it's not as
and-
cute.
It's not a baby anymore, so it's not a story.
Guaranteed.
Yeah. I also said I think Aiden Hill's big enough. He could take on a gorilla.
Yeah, I think we were.
I came to that conclusion at Game 6.
I think we were talking about that, and we were like, yeah, he's a big dude, especially with equipment. I think he can
250.
do it.
The goalie pads. Give him his stick to swing as a baseball bat.
Yeah.
He takes that on the gorilla.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, let's talk about Flowers. So this is the headline.
Or that was Shuffla.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love this, dude.
Oh.
I love that you make
Once
this.
a week I fuck it up. I don't know
It's
how
amazing.
Scotty Shuffla.
Scotty Scheffler shoots minus 31 this week. And ties
strokes.
Justin Thomas's 72-hole record. So it begs the question, how is this a permitted professional golf tournament or course at, TPC something, Craig Ranch, I believe, in Dallas, just
This is
outside of Dallas?
Dude Ranch.
This is a CJ Cup, right?
Yeah, the Byron Nelson.
There's still a lot of good golfers there and stuff. Yeah, I didn't really watch it a lot this weekend. I paid attention to the scores and watched a little bit, but then I saw 31 under, and then Van Ruin was just at 23 under
And
behind
didn't
him.
even win the tournament.
I'm like, I thought, like, was this another Zurich Classic, like a duo team thing? Because this score is
Or was it
really
like
high.
A four-man scramble,
really low.
like what we talked about last week.
Were they just drinking beers on the course? Was there a mistake? What was going on here? Because that was very low score. So someone's going to be getting fired.
He went like 61, 63, 62, 64, or something like that. Just
That's
four
crazy.
outrageous scores. It was actually really funny during the broadcast. So Scotty was on 17. All he had to do was go par to beat the 72-hole record set by Justin Thomas. He bogeyed 17 and parred 18, so he tied the record. But the commentator, Colton Ost, was texting Justin Thomas because JT wasn't playing. And he said, like, any words for the broadcast? And JT said, tell Scotty to make a few more bogeys because I want to hold on to this record.
Dude, that guy, from way he was playing and the way this leaderboard was, he could have like quadruple bogeyed the last few holes and won.
He could have played
I
lefty
mean, triple
for the back
bogeyed.
nine.
I know.
Real.
Jake, are you mad that Eric Van Ruin, U of M alum, took second and didn't take?
Yeah, 23 under. I'm a little upset by that, honestly. I'm not a Van Ruin fan anymore. Maybe I'm not a Gopher fan. No, I think that's still an outstanding performance, but like, you can't. I haven't witnessed that on a tour like this in a while, or that's just bizarre.
Yeah, I mean,
to me.
there's some filler events here and there where you get some low scores, like in the mid 20s, but 30s is where you.
31 under.
What are we doing with the course design?
Did you guys see that Scotty averaged 3.6 on par fives this
Yeah,
weekend?
I did.
My God.
He didn't make his first 5 of any hole, of any whatever, including the par 5s, until Saturday afternoon on the back 9. It was the first time he made the number 5 on a single hole.
I don't care how good of a golfer he is. Like, someone fucked up the hole placements, or they thought this was like, oh shit, the tournament's this weekend.
He was also the best name in the field by far. I guarantee he signed up and they're like, oh fuck.
Okay, change the holes. Change the holes.
And you know what? Good for him, dude. He needed kind of a confidence booster. Phil Mickelson said that he wouldn't win a tournament until the Ryder Cup, which is, at least hashtag Team USA. He believes that we're going to win the Ryder Cup, but
this means he's gonna go on to win the next 8 of 10 events now, like he did last year. He just needed a win.
fun fact too, he got his 14th win passing Jordan Spieth.
Okay.
Who has won
Okay.
twice in the last 7 years. So
Wow.
he was on pace at least.
He was definitely gonna be that.
Just a final thing. If you're a golf fan, you listen to probably the podcast No Laying Up. If you do, I'm actually trying to get TC on that show on our program here in later May. But just the horrible big letter golf hats that I've griped about before have gotten worse. How about this one? Ready? Nut.
Oh man. Just say nut. Those are aggressively large letters though.
This is at, looks like, I don't know what golf course this is. This guy just said it's my home course, and it's in all caps. This is in Fort Wayne, so that's Texas. Just in all caps and big letters says nuts. Now it makes me realize too that the 3M Open has these hats, I think too, that just say the 3M across the side at the top, or 3M Open. Yeah, the big letter hats need to go.
They're getting bigger and bigger and bigger like every week, and before you know it, like they're just going to be encompassing the whole hat.
Yep.
And you're not going to be able to read it unless you like have a bird's eye view of it.
There's one that's
getting insane.
There's one that says the pews. That's for Oakmont because they have the bunkers, that look like church pews.
Yep.
What was another one I was showing you, Sarge? There was one.
Foxy?
There was Foxy because one hole is called like the Fox Run or something.
There was one. I think there was one.
There was a really bad one.
Yeah.
Here, I'm just gonna click into this thread quick. I'm not gonna spend too much more time.
I think there was one like Shanks.
Oh, Pump.
Where are these coming from? Pump. This like sexual terms, or are you gonna pump?
Super horny hats.
If there's like one word to describe your course,
pump.
How about this one? The Loaf. TPC Sugar Loaf. The Loaf in all caps. I don't know if I hate these worse or the backwards hat. The backwards.
Well, the backwards hats can just
those are
go to hell.
Horrid, and they keep showing up somehow. So
fuck those.
I do think though that it's going to be hard to beat. How about this one? Just the word Aaron Hills in all caps.
Oh my goodness! And they abbreviate Aaron.
Oh yeah, ERN Hills.
What did you see that they're
the nut is still the best one.
Oh, nut. What's nut? Nut.
Yeah, there you go.
Nut. Dude, I saw that they were like trying to nickname or brand the 3M Open as the North Swing or something.
Okay.
You saw that? I'm like, they're gonna try to do a hat with that now.
Yeah, it'll just say North.
Just say
North. Yeah,
North.
because Minnesota's known as like the Great North.
Yeah.
I could see them doing a big hat that just says North in all caps, and people just buying the shit out of it.
Or like NTH Swing or something.
It's like MN.
Yeah.
Just in big letters, which.
MN.
Well, shit.
Oh, you already got it.
These aren't.
Well, no, that's fine. We're talking about like the big caps.
This has like a creative script on it. We're gonna be selling this. By the way, they just need to arrive.
That's a normal and good font size.
Yeah.
We're talking about like the nut, like it's just MN, like block Times New Roman font.
Yeah.
We don't need any more of that.
Yeah, I digress on the hats, but I'm gonna bring it up about probably once a month. All right, now we'll talk about Flower. So Flower played his last game, obviously, at least in terms of the NHL, but he did announce today that he's going to be playing in the World Championship.
With Canada?
Is that this summer?
Apparently.
Okay.
With Crosby and all them, I guess.
Yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know they were doing this World Championships thing.
I didn't either. I'm not good at keeping up with the international stuff all the time. I know about like the Olympics, obviously,
Yeah.
World Juniors. I'm not sure what this is.
I'm getting confused. I know they have like the World Juniors, and then they had this Four Nations, and they have the Olympics coming up. I thought
It's got to be this summer.
I thought it was maybe the U18 World Championships, but that's going on right now.
That'd be funny if he was playing in that though at 40 years old.
Yeah. Oh,
his
gosh.
track record of playing
just let
18-year-olds is not great this year.
No. So maybe he would fit
Cole
in with
Smith
the
and what's his face, Celebrini,
World Championship hockey.
kid who can't even legally drink yet, just scoring 3 times on him.
No. So Fleury might be able to fit in there now at his age, honestly.
It was funny. He told the media basically, he's like, "Yeah, I went home and hung out with my kids one time, and they're driving me nuts, so I decided to play again." I was like, "What is obviously he was kidding, but maybe not."
I'm trying to see
Yeah,
what.
Jake, what do you, I guess in the meantime too, while you're looking up more on that, according to Michael Russo, Fleury plans to meet with Bill Guerin after the season to talk about his future. Wants to be home more with his family, but sounds like he'd like to work for the Minnesota Wild in some capacity, help out the young guys, goalies, etc. So, kind of as we expected, we had mentioned that he was not going to retire in Vegas. He sold the home he was building there. He wants his kids to grow up here, and he's pretty much got a free job. I mean, he could probably work for any team in the league, to be honest, but it's just cool that he wants to. He liked Minnesota enough to where he wanted to stay, so.
Well, speaking of him not being done too, I saw Russo make a tweet that they'll just make Fleury the permanent emergency backup goalie next year. So Beaupre's out.
I feel so bad for Connor, dude, because he probably woke up thinking it was just gonna be a normal day, and like everyone was making fun of his job, basically. Like Spurgeon said he could be the E-Bug. Foligno said he could be the E-Bug.
They're making it sound like a joke, and he's sitting there putting all the work into it, having showed up to practices, trying to actually get out there. And then
Connor, who's been doing it for 13 years.
Oh, you said 9 on Twitter.
Okay, it's 9. But you know what, Connor, this isn't the worst thing this week's been a wash for him, because at Game 6, someone was wearing a Connor Beaupre jersey in the crowd.
no, that's great.
Some reverse retro one.
He's got some fans.
So you know what? Yeah, just it's good to see our boy's name in the news a lot.
It is.
He's getting some much deserved attention.
Yeah, it's one of us. So it is good to know that. That means if he gets knocked out, I am definitely no longer the E-Bug to the E-Bug.
Right.
I'm probably just dropped from Bill Guerin's roster of E-Bug goalies. We'll ask him about
Dude,
that.
we got to ask him about it and be like, so Bill, like if Flowers said, "Can I be the emergency backup?" Would you let him? And he's gonna be like,
yeah.
And we're gonna be like, "That's fucked up, dude. Connor's been grinding week in, week out."
He'd be like, what kind of fucking question is that? That's an easy yes. But yeah, then we throw him the Connor Beaupre, though. I mean, come on, man. He's also a guy in your roster that's been putting in so many hours, blood, sweat, and tears
Goes
into
to
this.
practices, gets lit up by those guys. I mean, I just felt bad. He was just catching some all-time strays at 11 a.m. on a Monday.
Yeah, doesn't need to happen.
Guarantee his phone was blowing up, and he's like, "Uh-oh."
Don't need that. Don't wish that on my worst enemy.
Yeah.
Monday morning strays.
Yeah. What else? Great career by Flower. Obviously, we were there for his last game. Kind of cool. Didn't play in front of us, but I mean, some people were saying like he should have stayed on the ice a little longer. He's done it all, dude. He's done the whole retirement tour. He's done the ceremony. He's done it all. He did the handshake line again. He's been doing handshake lines now for what feels like a month with every team, which is really cool. But like I said, I think he's just so over the whole thing, and is just ready to move on to the next chapter of his life, which hopefully is going to be coming on the show at some point. Now,
Seriously.
And when we have Billy back on, we'll be like, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry. This is not. We're not asking you to get him on the show. We're telling you to get him."
Yeah. If he doesn't come on the show, are you guys threatening me? Yes.
We will use our influence against you.
We will.
That guy's done way too much for us. We would never do that.
No, we wouldn't.
Dude, I was walking up the stairs, Game 6, and I just feel someone grab my entire shoulder and pull me, and I turn around and it was just Liam Guerin.
Guy's just a beauty.
Yeah,
He's a great dude.
I saw him at game 3 too.
Yeah. Haven't seen him in a while.
Hard guy to miss with that hairdo of his.
Oh, yeah.
Just that powering height.
He has a young Bill Guerin look for sure.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, I did find, too, I think they're referencing, so there is an IIHF Men's World Championship every year. Okay. I don't know if it's held every year, but it's going to be in 2025, May 9th through the 25th, Stockholm, Sweden, is for guys over 18.
Oh,
So
dude,
they have under 18.
they should do an alumni tournament sometime.
Oh, man. They should. They already have all these damn world
That-
championships already.
How cool would that be if like you had to be at least 40 to play in this? Like get Mike Madonna in there, get
Oh,
like
man.
Billy to play, get like Fleury could be the goalie. Mm-hmm. Fucking
Alumni All-Stars. And they already try to do that with like alumni games and stuff. But like
Yeah.
as far as an Olympics though, like style thing.
cool.
With,
I mean,
with-
I'm not saying obviously there's no contact, any of that. Like
Mm-hmm.
just do a fun Canada versus U.S. legends. Maybe I don't know, get Wayne
Oh,
back.
there'll
on
be
the
fights
skates.
regardless.
do a Four Nations Cup, like
Except
but
with
for
old dudes.
old
Basically,
guys.
just like the PGA Champions Tour.
Mm-hmm.
There was like once a month there was a game. It was almost like a beer league.
Oh, that'd be great.
They broadcast it like live on YouTube or something.
You know, it'd be like a Debuty League, but
NHL
for these
Network
guys.
would probably cover it.
Yeah, they would. Someone would cover it. It'd be streamed in Minnesota somewhere at least.
I think the problem is those guys are just so sick of playing hockey, they just don't want to do it anymore. So I get it.
done it for so many years.
All right, let's move into the voicemails. So thank you to everyone who called in last week. Please keep calling in. You can call in anonymously. I believe, Sarge, I'll have you read off the phone number. But just give us your takes on anything. It could be the Twins. It could be the Wild offseason. It could be the Timberwolves, Vikings offseason. It could be the Frost, the Lynx, golf, tennis,
Go for hoops.
Formula One, whatever. It could be just about life. Just we want to make this a regular thing, so we'd appreciate if you guys kept calling in. But
Yeah, 651 300 2129. 651 300 2129. Definitely give us a call. All right, so we got some voicemails here, and we got a new one that you guys I read through. It's we're good.
It's
We're
good.
good.
for the sake
We're
of the
good.
clips, let's throw on the headphones. Let's just
Yeah. All right. Here's the first one here. All right, ready?
Hey, this is Finn from White Bear. Ran into you at the State Fair, Corn Bros. We're going into game 6, 5 or 6, and that Marco Rossi anytime goal scorer
Oh,
is
obviously
looking at
this is
me very
from last
nicely.
week, but
We're gonna shove our wild cock down their golden butt and pull through with this W. Go wild win, wild win tonight. And we got Wolves in 5, and the Kings are gonna win, and we're gonna sweep the Kings, and then we're gonna win the cup. We're just gonna fly through Colorado or Dallas or whoever the fuck. But yeah, wild, Marco Rossi, anytime goal scorer, lock it in, lock the fuck in, go Bears, go Wild, go Wolves.
Go Bears.
I appreciate you, Flynn. He got a lot of things wrong in that. This was obviously coming from Thursday,
yeah.
but
Kings
Rossi
did not win.
score. Kings did not win. Wild did not win.
They did not shove their wild cock down their golden butt.
No.
It was kind of they shoved their golden cock down. Whatever. I'm not
Our
going to go
wild
there.
throat.
Yeah. So
You know what? I
Yeah.
appreciate the passion, though.
I know.
Exactly what we're looking for.
You had way more confidence going into that game than I did.
Yeah, the Rossi thing in itself. There's a lot of confidence saying that.
Yeah.
But
although the way he was playing, he was like playing. Wait, no, he did score. Right? Didn't he score the first goal?
no, that was Hartsey.
Oh, fuck you. Right.
On game 6.
Thinking of game 3.
I don't know who scored the second
I'm
goal.
thinking
though.
of game 3, the one I went to. They
Yeah.
blend together, dude.
They all did. We were starting to
Oh,
forget.
he scored the first goal in game 3 when I was there.
trying to see who scored that second goal.
He scored twice.
Oh yeah, Hartman scored twice. That's right.
All right, are we ready for the next one?
Shutting up
Yeah.
all the haters who said that was a bad contract.
Yep.
All right, yeah.
What's up, boys? Just got one thing to say. Luca is a chubby motherfucker. Skull Vikes.
You say Skull Vikes after?
He said Skull Vikes.
Okay, dude. Did you see that Luca lookalike who was eating at Chipotle? Mm-hmm. Sarge thought that was actually Luca for a second.
I thought it was for a second too when I saw it. I'm
I
like,
did too.
And I'm like, oh wait, this is clearly a joke, but this is like, not only does he look like him, this is the behavior that Luca would be doing. He'd be downing food right now, the weight and the shape he is in. So I would agree.
No, we're not naming names. They just need to get in a championship shape, Jake.
Yeah, just they need to get in a championship shape. That comes from the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers. So
And former podcaster JJ Redick, one of us.
former
hashtag.
broadcaster, Sir JJ Redick.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Just burp.
Seems like that guy was having a little.
I think
fun
that guy
night.
was having a stroke, probably
Yeah.
watching the Wild or something,
Either
or maybe
that or he just came after the Wild or the Wolves 1-5.
that too. That might have been a
You just
vinegar
watched
stroke.
Rudy get another rebound put back.
Yeah, that I don't know exactly what that was, but it was either good or very bad.
That video either ended in that guy coming or foaming from the mouth. I'm not sure which one.
Dying or having an orgasm. Let's put it that way.
Either way, I hope he's alive.
Yeah, same here.
All right, and last one we're gonna get to today, and then we got a couple texts to read.
I think the Timberwolves finally need to get respect from these NBA analysts because the more crap they talk about them, they're going to win because they said Lakers in 5 and how no one thought they were going to win. So keep on talking, NBA analysts, and the Timberwolves are going to come out on top. Timberwolves and 6. Also, Draymond Green needs to go out for professional wrestling. At this point,
I would
can't
actually
wait
rock.
for the Timberwolves and to watch with you guys. Thanks. Bye.
I think he would do great in pro wrestling. I didn't even think of that.
And that's legitimate too, because there's been so many guys of that personality and that
Matt McAfee,
type.
Logan Paul.
Yeah, they transition over perfectly. I mean, that actually be better suited for how he plays on the court. I don't think he even realizes what he's playing basketball anymore. I think he's totally lost his mind. So throw him in a ring.
I've said he would also be a good fourth liner on the Wild.
That too.
No, I agree. You know what, though? At least there's one analyst who always has our back, and it's Big Perk.
Yeah.
He's like the only guy who seems to respect us. So, I say, you know what? The Timberwolves are better off, though, when everyone doubts them.
Yes.
It's when, if you guys notice, like last season when all the MJ comparisons started coming out about Ant, and that's like when he plays worse. I feel like Ant is just a natural rebel, and he needs to face adversity. So I'd say keep picking against us, honestly.
Yep,
Because
keep talking.
Last year, every time we had confidence or anyone believed in us, we sucked.
Yeah, no, keep talking because I think Ant specifically thrives on it.
Yeah.
To be completely honest with you,
I mean,
think
just
he
his
loves
kind of
it.
shit talking.
He fucking loves it. So
Yeah.
keep talking. Yeah, keep doing it. Keep putting those headlines out there about how the Wolves are going to challenge the Warriors and blah, 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 So, yeah, keep doing it.
All right, we got a text here. Hey guys, keep up the great content. This is David. Oh boy, David at Evancho, a lifelong Vikings fan from Cambridge, Ohio. Skull. Here we go. How much better will the Vikings defense be this upcoming season with the additions we've made? Also, why do we never get any credit hype in the NFC North rankings? I heard analysts analysts placing us 4th in the division in the preseason polls. Again, bullshit, he says.
We're 4th, right? I guess we don't have a quarterback.
That's the question of the quarterback, but I think even with McCarthy, I think that's a pretty...
Still better than the Bears.
That we should still be better. But I guess if you think about it, you got the Bears are going to be improving with Caleb Williams
Yeah,
and
they
then
got
the
some
Lions.
O-linemen.
Green Bay is going to be... Man, the Vikings honestly could finish 4th, but not like by much.
It could
But-
be just like last year, honestly.
But then again, with our defense, that I think should be a lot better, and the O line and the adjustments, I don't see us getting last place. I just can't see it. I think the defense is going to be far better.
Yeah,
than
it
what we
is.
saw.
It is, and the O-line's deeper this year. So if you lose a Darisaw or an O'Neal, we're not going to be fucked.
No, we'll be
Because
okay.
We have rookies. We got a couple of my boys from Indianapolis, Will Fries, Kelly, Ryan Kelly. Those are 2 big boys up front. Two homegrown, grass-fed, big old boys up front.
Yep.
I think that's going to help a lot. But,
Farm guys. Yeah, we'll be good.
Yeah. What else we got?
So I realize that these are from last week, but this is kind of funny. Congrats to the Knights' 5th line for helping them win the game. He's referencing the refs.
Okay. Yeah.
I have seen more bias from a Vegas slot machine than those fucking vision-impaired vigilantes.
I mean, dude, the reffing was bad, but then what killed us in the later part of the series was just their first line woke up. I mean, when Jack Eichel started getting on the board, I was like, oh, fuck.
And then Mark Stone was even getting involved and getting chippy, and they started just connecting on all their passes and just driving
Now,
into the zone.
Would they have woken up if we win game 3 and 4?
See,
and
that's
they're
the thing.
facing elimination.
There were a couple plays that you could link back to how the refs called the game that gave them a little bit of an advantage, and then hence tied up the series and then gave them a lead in the series that gave them that momentum. So yeah, I think it could have. The momentum is everything in hockey.
It is.
And if we went into that game 6 with the lead, oh man, it would have been really rough in there. Yeah. Holy shit.
That would have been fun.
So yeah, it does kind of suck. But no, yeah, they were definitely I think the Vegas' fifth line of defense there, I think, in a couple situations.
Also, remember, too, their sixth line is the cap and circumvent.
And LTIR.
Yep.
And then the seventh line is Gary Bettman.
Right. Yep. So it's good.
Fuck him.
Good roster there.
Yeah, that's it, fellas.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks, folks, for calling in and texting. Keep doing it. We'll keep reading them off every week. Throw some reminders out there for you. But that just about does it for another episode of 10K TV. Thank you so much for watching or listening. Remember, if you're listening or watching after the fact, you can watch live every Monday around 7 p.m. and also listen afterwards if you missed anything on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all your podcast platforms. Thank you so much for buying Captain's Patch, for buying our merch, supporting us, folks, as always. Also, make sure to enter the Timberwolves giveaway. And don't send us a bribe because we're not going to take it. That's not fair to everyone who's not bribing us. So, Wolves in 5. And watch the streams. One tomorrow, one Thursday, Saturday. Sarge, just going to be rocking it, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah. I can't wait.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Thanks, everyone, for listening, supporting, and we'll see you next week.